The word hit me like a slap, raw and stinging, her voice slicing through the quiet of our dimly lit kitchen. "You're such a simp, David," Lisa spat, her eyes glinting with something sharp. Contempt maybe, or something darker I couldn't name. The wineglass in her hand trembled, red liquid sloshing against the rim, catching the glow of the pendant light above. I stood frozen, the dish towel limp in my hands, the air thick with the smell of garlic and regret from the dinner I'd spent hours cooking. A simp. Me. The man who'd spent 10 years building a life with her, who'd memorized her coffee order, who'd stayed up nights fixing her laptop when her freelance deadlines loomed. The accusation hung there heavy, like smoke you can't wave away. I forced a laugh, brittle and unconvincing. "What's that supposed to mean?" My voice cracked, betraying the knot tightening in my chest. She didn't answer, just turned her head, her auburn hair catching the light as she stared out the window into the inky night. The silence was worse than her words, a void that swallowed my attempt at levity. I wanted to press, to demand clarity, but something in her posture, rigid, closed off, stopped me. Instead, I scrubbed the pan harder, the sponge grating against steel, mirroring the scrape of doubt in my mind. That night, I lay awake in our bed, her body a distant silhouette under the covers. The hum of the air conditioner filled the room, but it couldn't drown out the questions clawing at me. Why had she said it? Was it a joke, a fleeting jab born of a bad day? Or was it something deeper, a crack in the foundation I'd been too blind to see? I replayed the moment, her tone, the way her lips curled around the word. Simp. A term I barely understood, something I'd seen tossed around online, a slur for men too soft, too devoted. Was that how she saw me? The thought twisted like a knife, but I pushed it down, telling myself I was overreacting. She was stressed. Her graphic design business was struggling. She didn't mean it. Days passed, and the word lingered like a bruise. Lisa was different, subtle, but undeniable. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, now stayed glued to her hand. She'd tilt the screen away when I walked by, her fingers quick to lock it. At first, I rationalized it. Client confidentiality maybe. Or she was planning a surprise, something to make up for her outburst. But the late-night texts, the way she'd smile at her screen in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. It gnawed at me. I'd catch her staring out the window, lost in thought, her fingers tracing the edge of her phone like a secret she was guarding. "You okay?" I asked one evening, my voice soft, probing, as we sat on the couch. The TV droned in the background, some crime drama neither of us was watching. She flinched, her thumb freezing mid-scroll. "Fine," she said too quickly, her eyes darting to mine before flicking back to her phone. "Just tired." I nodded, but my stomach churned. The room felt smaller, the air stale with unspoken words. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the version of us that laughed over takeout and planned weekend hikes. But the doubt was a splinter, working deeper with every evasive glance, every vague response. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. Her perfume lingering on clothes she hadn't worn with me. The way she'd leave the room to take calls, her voice hushed and urgent. Each clue was a pinprick, small but cumulative, building a picture I didn't want to see. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. She was in the shower, the hiss of water masking the sound of my guilt as I picked up her phone. My hands shook as I typed her passcode. Our anniversary. A detail that now felt like a mockery. The screen unlocked, revealing a string of messages from Alex. My heart thudded, a sick rhythm as I scrolled. "Miss you already," one read. "Last night was incredible," another. My vision blurred, the word swimming. I wanted to stop, to unsee it, but I kept reading, each message a hammer to the fragile trust I'd built my life around. Alex. A name I didn't know, but one that now held the weight of my unraveling world. When she emerged, wrapped in a towel, her wet hair dripping onto the hardwood, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, her phone in my hand. Her eyes widened, then narrowed, a flash of panic giving way to defiance. "David, what the hell are you doing?" Her voice was sharp, but there was a tremor beneath it. "Who's Alex?" I asked, my voice low, barely containing the storm inside me. The question hung between us, heavy as a guillotine. She froze, her lips parting, then closing. For a moment, I thought she'd deny it, spin a lie I could pretend to believe. But then her shoulders slumped, and she looked away, her silence louder than any confession. The room spun, the walls closing in, the air thick with the scent of her lavender shampoo and my own heartbreak. "It's not what you think," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. But it was too late. The words felt hollow, a flimsy shield against the truth I'd already seen. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but all I could do was sit there, clutching her phone like a lifeline to a life that no longer existed. The weeks that followed were a blur of pain and pretense. I moved to the guest room, the space between us a chasm I didn't know how to cross. I wanted to hate her, to let anger burn away the love I still felt, but it wasn't that simple. I missed her. The way she'd hum off-key while cooking, the way her laugh could light up a room. I questioned everything. Was I too soft? Too trusting? Had I pushed her away? The guilt was a weight, pressing me into sleepless nights, where I'd stare at the ceiling, replaying every moment, searching for the point where it all went wrong. Then came the call that shattered everything. It was a Tuesday, the sky outside our apartment a dull gray, matching the fog in my mind. The police officer's voice was calm, professional, but each word was a jolt. Lisa had been arrested. Fraud, they said. She'd been funneling money from her business, cooking the books to hide it. The details were murky, but the name Alex came up again. A business partner, they said, who'd been in on it. The betrayal wasn't just personal anymore. It was criminal, a web of lies that extended beyond our marriage. I visited her in jail, the fluorescent lights harsh against her pale face. She looked small, fragile, nothing like the woman who'd called me a simp. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she said, her voice cracking. "I loved you, David. I still do." I wanted to believe her, to find the woman I'd married in the stranger before me. But as I walked away, the clang of the jail door echoing behind me, I realized the truth. Love wasn't enough to mend what she'd broken. The word simp echoed in my mind, no longer an insult, but a reminder of my own blindness. I'd loved her too much to see her for who she was, a woman capable of betrayal, not just of me, but of everything we'd built.